This is the Crisscross Show. I'm back after a 13-day absence. The last time I was here was February 10th. I'm back. It is February 23rd. I do have some NBA power rankings to talk about, and as well as the NBA All-Stars, the selection team, who made the All-Star team, who didn't. So that is coming up right now. Enjoy. Okay, so my top 10 teams are always based off of the top 10 teams in the league. So if the playoffs were to start, who are the 10 best teams right now? That's how I rank them, based on the best teams right now. So without further ado, number 10, the San Antonio Spurs. They're quietly a 16-11 record team. They're 16-11. They haven't played in like a week. A lot of their games have been canceled. They're postponed because of the safety protocols from COVID-19. So the San Antonio Spurs are 16-11. They were playing pretty good basketball. Again, I thought in my preseason rankings that they were going to be out of the playoff picture because, you know, they were thinking about trading DeMarcus. No, not DeMarcus. They were thinking about trading DeMar DeRozan, and as well as not knowing what to do with LaMarcus Aldridge and what are they going to do with their young core. So they're quiet 16-11. They haven't played in a while, so that's why they're kind of quiet. But I do think that if the playoffs were to start, they are a top 10 team for sure. Number 9, the Milwaukee Bucks, missing True Holiday. It really, really hurts them. They did go on a 5-game losing streak not too long ago. They finally won by beating the Sacramento Kings. So, you know, the MVP is struggling. He's realizing that he had about 2 years to really own the East. That was his window. He failed on both attempts. I think now the East is at least more top heavy, so he's not going to get those easy first and second rounds like he did the past couple of years. So I think the Milwaukee Bucks are the 9th best team in the league. Number 8, the Toronto Raptors. Obviously, I think right now they are in that, you know, playoff play-in positioning right now. The Toronto Raptors are 8-3 in February. They have been playing amazing basketball. They won a 2-game series against Milwaukee in Milwaukee. So they're better than Milwaukee, and I know during the playoffs they will be better than Milwaukee. So they are currently my number 8. Number 7, the Portland Trail Blazers. They are 7-3 in their last 10 games. They've been playing great ball. They are on a 2-game losing streak, but before that, they were on a good win streak. I think they beat Philadelphia at home. They had a couple good wins. Damian Lillard, it can only do it by himself for so long. I think that right now he's on a hot streak, but eventually, as CJ McCollum, as Yusuf Nurkic begin to miss more games, it's going to catch up with him, and they're going to end up kind of riding the 500 level for the next couple of weeks, at least until they come back. And I think that right now, if the playoffs were to start, you can focus in on Damian Lillard. And again, you're going to force other players to shoot. So Portland is my number 7 team for that reason. Number 6, the LA Lakers. So they jump from number 1 all the way down to number 6 because 3-game losing streak, lost 3 of their last 4 games. No AD, no shooter. I think that if the playoffs were to start, they would not beat Utah. They would not beat the Clippers. They would not beat Phoenix because you're going to depend on LeBron way too much, making him the primary ball handler. And again, a team like the Clippers, a team like the Suns, a team like the Utah Jazz who have 2 or more players that you can rely on, it begs the question, like, who else? Like, is Kyle Kuzma going to do it? Who else is going to step up? So without Schroeder and AD, it really hurts the Lakers. And obviously, a 3-game losing streak does not help as well. So that's the reason why the Lakers are number 6. Up next is the top 5 teams in the league. Okay, number 5, the Phoenix Suns. They are 20-10, riding a 3-game win streak. They are 9-1 in their last 10 games. So they're playing a lot better. They're kind of getting more familiar with each other. Obviously, I think we saw them be like 10-8 at one point. Everyone was kind of like, oh, it's not working. But they've kind of kicked it up. Obviously, small training camp. It was going to take them a while to kind of get them used to each other. So now they are 9-1 in their last 10 games. Really great team. Good quality wins. Their real test is against the Lakers next week. We'll see how that goes. But right now, they do own the top or number 5. Number 4, the Philadelphia 76ers. They are 20-11, which is first in the East. But I think a lot of those wins are against lower tier East teams. And again, they got to a hot start. Joel Embiid misses every other game. They are playing really, really great. I think they will end up with the first or second seed in the East. But I think that Philadelphia does have some problems, especially against a team like Brooklyn, who is getting KD back, who's currently hot right now. I don't think that playoffs start. I think if the playoffs started right now, they would definitely be in the Eastern Conference Finals, but they would lose to Brooklyn. Number 3, the LA Clippers. And I say the LA Clippers because they've had some pretty good wins against some quality teams. Their first win was against the Lakers. They beat Utah by a lot of points last month. They are 22-10. When Kawhi and Paul George don't play, they had about 3 losses without those 2 guys on the team. They have had some quality wins without them as well. So the LA Clippers with Ty Lue, I think, are playing well. They're more quiet this year. Last year they were loud and thought they won the championship already. So they've kind of quieted down. They're more humble. They're playing better basketball, playing better team basketball. But I do give the LA Clippers the number 3 spot. Number 2, the Brooklyn Nets. James Harden and Kyrie Irving went on a West Coast trip and beat the Pacific Division 5-0 in their West Coast trip. So they've been playing great ball. And again, the Pacific Division has the LA Clippers, the Lakers, and as well as the Phoenix Suns. So some good quality teams that Brooklyn beat, especially without Kevin Durant. They're playing great basketball. James Harden's playing great basketball. Kyrie Irving's playing great basketball. And I just think that Brooklyn right now, their defense is a little, hit and miss. But I do think that the Brooklyn Nets are the second best team in the league right now. Number 1, the Utah Jazz. They're 25-6, best record in the West. They had like a 10-game win streak. They're playing amazing basketball. They're great defense. Jordan Clarkson's really stepping up off the bench. Again, when you can get a guy that scores 20 points off the bench, you're probably going to be pretty good because you can rely, if your starters aren't having it, you can rely on at least a bench player to give you at least 15 to 20 points. So the Utah Jazz are my number 1 team. So again, the order goes number 10, San Antonio. Number 9, Milwaukee. Number 8, the Raptors. Number 7, the Blazers. Number 6, the Lakers. Number 5, the Suns. Number 4, the 76ers. 3, Clippers. 2, Brooklyn. And as well as number 1, the Utah Jazz. So that is the rankings, the top 10 teams in the league right now. Okay, so I want to talk about the NBA AllStar team. The reserves were announced earlier today. So the Western Conference has Chris Paul, Paul George, Damian Lillard, Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, Zion Williamson, and Anthony Davis. The Eastern Conference reserves are James Harden, Julius Randle, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Zach LaVine, Ben Simmons, and Vucevic, I think I'm saying his name right, from Orlando. In other words, I think the All-Star team, at least the reserves, are perfect. I think the All-Star starters are perfect as well. You have LeBron James, you have Kevin Durant, you have Luka Doncic, you have Steph Curry. I mean, I think the team looks great. I have no complaints there. Some people may say that Devin Booker was robbed, that Trae Young was robbed. And again, Devin Booker will probably get into the All-Star team because Anthony Davis is not going to play. So we can not worry about Devin Booker there. The Eastern Conference, I feel Trae Young is the most talked about that was robbed. But I think last year in the All-Star game, Trae Young did nothing. He was kind of quiet, a little bit off last year in the All-Star game. I think he took a lot of impossible looking threes that just looked ridiculous, as well as his team's not performing well. And I think a huge factor, what we don't realize, is that when your team doesn't perform that well and your team doesn't look that exciting and your team's not mainstream media, you're probably not going to make the All-Star team. Julius Randle, the New York Knicks are playing amazing for the first time in 6 years. Zach LaVine is playing out of his mind with the Chicago Bulls. They look exciting. They look fun. And as well as the Orlando Magic, Vucevic. I mean, he's playing amazing. He's a double-double machine. Orlando, obviously losing Markelle Fultz kind of hurt them. They did start off hot to begin the year. They were, one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference at the beginning of the year. They were in my top 10s as well. So I think we need to kind of slow down with the All-Star snubs. There's only so many spots that can be taken. If they made 2 to 3 more spots per conference, that would be awesome. I think everyone would like that. I think the All-Star game would be that much better if there were maybe 2 or 3 more slots per conference. That way we can avoid those snubs that everyone talks about. But I think, to be honest, the All-Star team looks great. I think it looks great every year. I think maybe there was a couple years where it just was like really, really odd. But I think it looks great. I think a lot of young players mixed with some old players. And I think it's going to be a really exciting All-Star game. I'm really looking forward to it. I always look forward to how the uniforms look. And I just think the All-Star team looks great. I mean, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'd love to know if you are really passionate about someone being snubbed, or if you agree with me as well with the All-Star team. All right, so that just about wraps the Chris Cross Show. I gave you my NBA Top 10 Power Rankings as of February 23rd, as well as the NBA All-Star team and how I think that nobody was robbed of or snubbed of the All-Star team. So anyways, like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed the video.